was a big storm.
What we know now is that this storm was the second largest snowstorm in the history of the city.
Everybody's stuck. Everybody's trying to get out.
You go out on the road, all it takes is one car to get stuck.
It's been a little rough. A lot of rescue calls.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our continuing coverage of Winter Storm Jonas. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Lopez, alongside storm specialist Carl Parker, who's going to join me in just a few minutes. The big cleanup is now underway across the Northeast as the powerful Winter Storm Jonas delivered everything from damaging ice to record snow to coastal flooding. A reminder, even after the snow has stopped coming down, the roads outside are dangerous and potentially icy. Case in point, this truck here in New York City, as the ice and the slushy road may just try to maneuver from the parking space to the road, nearly impossible. Well, here is what we know at this hour. Sadly, the number of storm-related deaths this week from the storm has climbed to 29 people. 2.7 million of you remain under some sort of coastal flood alert. 10 states have declared a state of emergency, in addition to the District of Columbia. And if you're traveling, bad news, about 3,400 flights have been canceled today alone. Well, the nation's capital saw more than 18 inches of snow from this winter storm. It is tied for fourth all-time and the biggest snowstorm record in the city. And joining us right in the heart of D.C. is Mike Seidel. And Mike, doesn't look like many people around you right now, but are you seeing life slowly trying to get back to normalcy? And there's a few people walking by now.
Yeah, a few people walking by, enjoying your day out here. Come on by, it's okay.
Yeah, well, I locked myself out of my house.
You locked yourself out of your house?
The snow locked me.
Oh, the snow locked you out?
My shovel is too far out,
so how are you getting? Oh my gosh! So what are you going to do now?
I'm going to a friend's to find a shovel.
Get a shovel and get back. Well, good luck. So she's got to get a shovel to get back in her house. My gosh, it's the saddest story I've heard all day. We're out here at the Capitol. You can see behind me. They're still digging out the steps here in the distance. They've been working on both sets of steps leading up to the backside of the Capitol. On the other side of the Capitol, that's where they've been sledding today, and I was able to take part in that. That was a lot of fun. First time they've legally been able to do that in decades, at least 35, 40 years, as best I could tell. As far as top snow totals in the area, out in Loudoun County, out around Leesburg and Auburn, those areas, as much as 3 feet of snow. I found this number interesting. North Potomac in Montgomery County, 38.5 inches of snow. No wonder schools are closed there for Monday and Tuesday. As far as Metro Rail tomorrow, just the below ground stations, and Metro Bus is on a very limited schedule, 22 routes and only from noon to 5. The streets here look like they're in pretty good shape, but this is not the way it looks around most of the area. You get away from these federal buildings and streets still need to be plowed, and as you can imagine, out in North Potomac and around the suburbs where they've had upwards of 20, 30, 35 inches of snow, there are a lot of roads that have not been plowed, including a lot of residential streets, and that's one of the reasons schools are going to be shut down for at least a couple of days, if not longer. Jen, temperature's going to fall now as the sun goes down to the single numbers out in the burbs and 10 to 15 in town. Black ice will rule the world tomorrow. That is if your street was plowed and something melted, which for a lot is not the case.
All right, so some more problems as we go through the night with all that icy conditions, potentially at least. Thank you so much, Mike. Now let's head up to Central Park because the city saw the second biggest daily snowfall, falling short of the record by just 1/10 of an inch. And as we look in the Big Apple right now, joining us is Harry Chikma. And Harry, I can see a few people out and about, certainly trying to get back to some sort of normalcy. How is it going there today?
Well, good evening. That's right. We're here at Central Park, also Columbus Circle. It's finally below freezing here, 31 degrees, and it feels that way. I had to put my gloves on for the first time while doing reports here because I was starting to feel that tingly sensation. Meanwhile, there are people, they're actually condensed like never before because of all the snow we have on the sidewalk. Let's take a look in back of me. A small little passageway with plenty of slush there. You can see these people sliding, and that is one of the key themes here. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some video from Radio City Music Hall trying to clean out the scene there. I was actually at Radio City Music Hall last night and also this morning. Things are getting cleaner, but it's very hard to walk around the city. People trying to do their best after the storm. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. And let's get another look at this storm system from Carl Parker. He joins us live with kind of a recap of Jonas. Again, not expecting any more snow from it, but still that cold air is not going anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of cold air around, and boy, what an incredible historic storm that we saw across the Northeast. And this is the satellite picture over the last 48 hours. You can watch this incredible cyclone come up along the mid-Atlantic region there. Huge inflow of moisture from the Atlantic into the storm. And it really did not move very quickly. That's a big part of why we saw such incredible totals. And let's take a look at some of those totals. First of all, here in Virginia and northern Maryland, this is where we thought we would get an awful lot of snow. Look at that, 40.5 inches in Shepherdsville in West Virginia, 34.5 there. Frederick, Maryland, 29.3. Dulles Airport in northern Virginia, and 26 inches in Bethesda, Maryland. Baltimore seeing its all-time highest snowfall, 29.2 inches. D.C., a fourth highest snowfall, 17.8. Interesting because that may be changed. They actually may have used improper techniques, and certainly the totals around D.C. were much higher than that. Then we saw an all-time record in Harrisburg, 30.2 inches, and 22.4 in Philadelphia. Not much on the way. We do expect there's going to be a little snow coming into the lakes over the next couple of days, but we're going to have a breather along the eastern seaboard. Jen, over to you.
All right, well, it's just not snow that we're dealing with from Jonas. Some communities along the East Coast are battling flooding. So Jen Carfagno takes us to the Jersey Shore straight ahead with an update on the recovery that is facing the coast.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. Oh, and an award for best tasting hard cider. You're in our shot.
No, I'm not.
Strongbow.
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine with the heart. Coricidin HBP.
James drove his RAV4 hybrid into the frozen wilderness. The scent of his jerky attracted a hungry wolf pack behind him. To survive, he had to remain fearless. He would hunt with them and expand their territory. He'd form a bond with a wolf named Acalia, become den mother, and nurse their young. James left in search of his next adventure. How far will you take the all-new RAV4 hybrid? Toyota, let's go places.
Your brain is an amazing thing. But as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Every insurance policy has a number, but not every insurance company understands the life behind it. For those who've served and the families who've supported them, we offer our best service in return. USAA, we know what it means to serve. Get an insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
When you start linking the people side up to the weather and the science and the data, it makes a real connection and starts, I think, drive home the importance of what we do.
Currently in our area, 57 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, mainly clear, low 49. Winds light and variable. Monday, mostly cloudy. Monday night, mostly cloudy, low 65. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Severe weather is I think when the Weather Channel really shines. You see everyone come together during severe weather events. What it comes down to is that this weather is affecting people. When you start linking the people side up to the weather and the science and the data, it makes a real connection and starts, I think, drive home the importance of what we do.
All right, let's just look at the cold air. It was so cold last night across Brooklyn. You can see those winds blowing all that snow around as well. New York City dealing with several inches of snow from the blizzard that came through. The winds have dropped off. The sun has actually been out today, but the temperatures have stayed cold, so we haven't seen a ton of melting. Now, as we head farther to the south, down to New Jersey, well, the snowfall from the winter storm Jonas has certainly come to an end, but the flooding is still causing all kinds of damage, and it's a huge concern along the coast. So let's go live now to Jen Carfagno. She is in Atlantic City. And Jennifer, it's a beautiful sunset behind you. And if we didn't have to talk about the trouble with all the flooding, we would certainly talk about this beautiful conditions behind you.
The thing is, I might not talk about the flooding because this is so amazing. I don't want to move the camera. I will talk about it, but we're going to keep looking at this just gorgeous sunset that really spans the entire bay out here. I mean, it's spectacular. Sunset 5:08 here in Atlantic City, so it is just happening right now. And it's, you know, it's after the storm. That's when you get these amazing sunsets and sunrises for that matter. And I know you're seeing this all over the East Coast today. And after Winter Storm Jonas, you need a moment like this, right? Just serenity. The bay is calm. The bay, though, was our headache over the last 36 hours here in Atlantic City. This water at high tide, during 3 high tide cycles, this water came up over the sidewalk where I'm standing, filled the street, which is behind me on the other side, or on the other side of me over there, went more than a block, if even 2 blocks in away from the bay, caused some major street flooding. In some cases, cars were flooded out that hadn't been moved ahead of time. It was a huge concern for folks who lived around this area, waiting to see if the water would get up into their homes. And it did in some cases here, even in Atlantic City. I talked to one woman a block over that got about an inch of water inside her home. Her carpets are completely soaked. And it was high tide, bay or back bay side flooding that was the challenge for us here in Atlantic City. It wasn't necessarily the coastal overwash in Atlantic City, and for really most of the South Jersey shore towns, it was the back bay flooding at the time of high tide. And yesterday's high tide was the most significant. Saturday morning high tide for Atlantic City, 9th top highest high tide. Now, the concern for street flooding is over. This high tide this evening is not expected to be anywhere close to problematic, so we are going to be looking at good conditions for travel when it comes to the flooding issue. The concern is going to be now that we did get over a foot of snow, 13.7 inches of snow in Atlantic City, and if you're away from the coastline, away from anywhere where the floodwaters didn't eat away at your snow, you've got snow on the ground, and if it wasn't cleared from the street, you've got snow or slush on the street that will refreeze tonight as temperatures drop through the 20s. Tomorrow, though, a warm and sunny day that again help us out with the snow around the area. That's the latest here from Atlantic City. A gorgeous sunset. If you guys want to hang out and look at it with me a little bit longer, you're welcome to.
You know, looking behind you right now, you would say, what blizzard, what snowstorm came through? It is just gorgeous right now. Thank you so much, Jen. And again, we are continuing to look at these temperatures with the snow still all over portions of the Northeast. It's going to keep the temperatures quite cold for tonight, so we have to be concerned with this. D.C. and Philadelphia staying in the teens, but some of the suburbs probably going to be dropping to the single digits. So anything that's melted, any snow that's melted, it could certainly refreeze and cause some problems with more ice on the roads. Tomorrow's forecast does call for sun in the morning, clouds on the increase. Notice the temperatures will be up into the 30s here, so slowly starting to get a little bit warmer as we go through this upcoming week. But we do have another system that's going to have An impact, not a huge one, but a minor one across the mid-Atlantic, bringing some scattered showers. We think it'll all be in the form of rain for us on Tuesday, as those temperatures will stay well up into the middle 40s. And then as we look beyond for the next few days, even more sunshine coming into New York here, and then a weak system trying to get in here Friday morning, bringing a few snow showers. Temperatures, though, will be in the 30s. Down to D.C., we see that light rain moving in Tuesday night, early Wednesday, and then potentially late Thursday, we see that wintry mix coming back into play for the mid-Atlantic. Well, Jonas may be gone, but what is next for portions of the north? Storm specialist Carl Parker brings us an expert analysis on a new system that we're looking at.
Imagination. The all-new Civic from Honda.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio opens up airways to help improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible for 12 months free at mybrio.com.
Haven't seen Maggie in months, sitting in with time on my hands. Loneliness plays tricks with my mind. Everything that's nothing looks like something. I'm not driving, it's driving me crazy. Once the city bus got that I don't have, I keep my light on, I keep the seat warm, but rust is all that feels real anymore.
Not driving drives you crazy. Get covered and go at safeauto.com.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
I recommend Nature Made fish oil because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a product verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended fish oil brand.
What's the word on Weather Underground?
Drum roll.
The weather geeks have weighed in and boom. They geekin' love it.
Weather Underground, my friend. Hopefully you learned something with that.
I'm a weather geek for life.
Join in on the fun. Weather Underground, Geek Nights at 6 on the
If you had $1 for every dollar car insurance companies say they'll save you by switching, you'd have like a ton of dollars. But how are they saving you those dollars? A lot of companies might answer or no comment. Then there's Esurance, born online, raised by technology, and majors in efficiency. So whatever they save, you save. Hassle, time, paperwork, hair tearing out, and yes, especially dollars. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now.
We have a charge. We have a responsibility to provide information to people to help them, help their communities, help their families stay safe, and it matters so much.
Currently in our area, 58 degrees under fair skies. cloudy intervals. Low 49. Winds light and variable. Monday, more clouds than sun. High 72. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday night, mostly cloudy skies. Low 65. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, the blizzard creating all kinds of problems and covering anything across the D.C. area. Here we are looking live, or not live, but actually out over Washington, D.C. And there at one of the airports, you can see the snow just covering up all the runways and several of the planes. You know, it's hard to put those planes, every one of them, in a hangar, so they just have to hang out outside and wait to be defrosted or de-iced or to get all that snow off. So certainly what a weekend across the Mid-Atlantic with so much snow coming from our blizzard. But let's find out what is in store for us as we go through the next few days. There's potential of another system coming in. Let's find out more from Carl.
Yeah, Jen, fortunately, it's not going to be a real strong one. It's a little clipper that's going to come through the lakes, and along with that, we'll get some lighter snow across the lakes, and that's going to be about it. No big blockbuster storms anytime soon. And wow, was this a storm? I mean, one for the ages. Let's take a look at what happened with this storm. A huge area of 1.5 feet plus, and that's indicated by that sort of hot pinkish shading right in there. And then within that, you've got 2 feet plus. Now, where is this storm going to stand in terms of history? Well, there's something that was developed by Paul Cosin and Dr. Louis Uccellini, who's the director of NOAA. It's called the Northeast Snow Impact Scale, or NESIS, and it ranks storms after the fact and puts them into these categories: notable, significant, major, crippling, and extreme. Now, so far, there have only been 2 storms that have reached that extreme level, that category 5, and that was the superstorm in 1993 and also the 1996 North American blizzard. So we can take a look at those storms. Huge impact here with the superstorm. These are the areas that got 10 to 20 inches in light blue. I, by the way, was right there in Harrisburg. It was wild. I've never seen so much thunder snow in my life. And then here is the 1996 storm. Very, very large area of 20 to 30 inches. And this storm was very much like that 1996 storm. And here, once again, is a look at the total amount of snow, really right in a lot of major metro areas. And again, this scale measures societal impact. And so what we're thinking is that there's a very good chance that this storm is not only going to crack the top 5, but it may in fact be within the top 2, or it might even be the #1 storm going forward in terms of societal impact on this NESIS scale. That's how big of a deal this storm has been. Just incredible. All right, so here's the forecast going forward. We're going to watch this fast-moving system come through the lakes, and along with that, we're going to get a quick burst of some light snow. It's going to lift up very quickly into Canada. This is actually a milder flow out ahead of that. Going to be a little bit of rain in the Mid-Atlantic region where we've got all that snow. It's a good reason to get some of that snow off the roof, as rain can make it even heavier. So here's the snowfall forecast, and as you can see, it's mostly pretty light, talking about 1 to 3 inches, Wisconsin, parts of Minnesota, and backing into South Dakota and also into Nebraska. No great big storms anytime soon. Jen, back to you.
All right, you were talking about trying to get that snow off the roof before the next system moves in. Well, some people may think, I'm just going to crack my attic from inside my house and try to melt some of that snow. It sounds pretty good, but actually it can cause problems, because as the heat from your attic rises, it does help to melt that snow that is up there on the roof. But as that snow kind of slides off your roof and it doesn't quite go all the way to the ground, well, the cold air stays in place overnight and it just refreezes, and that is not a good situation, because as it refreezes, it kind of puddles up here, and guess what? It actually drips back into your attic. So then you're getting water in your attic, which of course is nothing that you want to deal with. So again, cracking the attic door from your house and trying to let the warm air in is not the way that you want to get all that snow off your roof. You want to do it a safe way of trying to get all that snow off. And let's talk a little bit more about the snow. Oh, I went way ahead of it, but I was going to show you all that snow as it slides off. We've got plenty of time to talk about that, so we'll get to that coming up in a few more minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to continue to look at this snowstorm and head back to New York City right after this and see how they're doing.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic.
Mom?
Your dad won't call an exterminator.
Can I call you back?